Okay, in the stone Chumash in Chumash Vayeira, we're on page 84. No, I'm sorry. No, at the bottom of 82. The bottom line of 82. Okay, bottom line, what we were learning last week is that Avraham Avinu is arguing with Hashem to save Sodom. That's Perik Yud Ches, Pasuk Chav Ches. Yeah? Avraham saying maybe there's 50 tzaddikim in there are 5 cities, maybe there's 50 tzaddikim, so how can you destroy if there's 10 tzaddikim per city? Hashem said, no, I'm not going to do it. If there's 50 tzaddikim, I won't destroy them. Okay? Then he says, okay, I'm dirt and ashes. Okay, the bottom line. Maybe subtract from the 55. Are you going to destroy the whole city because 5 less? So then he says, I won't destroy it. You're right, if there's 45, then he said like this. What's the cheshbon 45? Okay? In other words, like this. There'll still be, there's 5 cities, right? So there'll still be 9 in each city. Times 5 is 45. Plus you, Hashem. So, or me, Avraham, whichever one, you'll count that they should be able to keep it that way. Okay? Now, Klayakar says, he takes it a little different. He says, maybe there's now 45, but I'm sure there were 5 tzaddikim that moved out. At one time there were righteous people here. So why do you want to destroy it for that? Okay, Avraham Avinu actually, the Barbanel, others say that Avraham Avinu actually said to Hashem, do it in my merit. Okay? X amount of tzaddikim in the city and the rest do in my merit. Hashem said, no problem. If there's 45, I will not destroy the city. But, interestingly, it doesn't say, okay, look at the earlier pasuk. In pasuk Chavav 26, Hashem said, if there's 50 tzaddikim, nasasi l'chol amok, I will spare the entire place. God said, I will spare it. Here he says, I won't destroy if there's 45. What's the difference between sparing and not destroying? So the commentators explain very interesting. God says, I won't destroy them, but I'll punish them. If there's 50, Hashem said, I'll spare them completely. They won't be punished at all. That's why there's a difference of texts. The pasuk said by 50, Hashem says, I'll spare them. And here, Hashem is saying, I will not spare them, but I won't destroy them. Okay? But okay, there's Avraham Avinu continued and he said like this. Maybe there's 40. Let's say at least 4 cities. Okay, he said, okay, I'm not going to do it. If there's 40, I won't destroy them. So, and he says, Avraham Avinu said like this. Please, God, don't get angry at me. Let me speak. Maybe there's 30 tzaddikim, you'll save at least 3 cities. I won't do it if there's 30. Okay? He said, behold, I desire to speak to Hashem. Maybe there'll be 20 tzaddikim there, we'll save at least 2 cities. Okay, for 10, if 20 I also won't destroy. He said, okay, let me speak one more time. It's remarkable the way Avraham Avinu is arguing with Hashem over and over and over for these wicked people of Sodom. But Hashem is arguing with him. Avraham is arguing with him. Maybe there's at least 10 tzaddikim. Okay? So Avraham said, you know what? A deal. There's 10 people. I won't destroy the city. And from there the Medrash says, by the way, if a place contains 10 righteous people, Hashem will not destroy the city. Because what?
Are they actually righteous, regarding Tzaddikim, or are they more like virtues than sins? Not that they're righteous.
You know, Avraham Avinu, Lot, right? Avram's nephew Lot was the best of all, and even he wasn't so good. He only was saved, by the way. Why was he saved? Simply in the merit of Avraham. We'll see another reason when we get there with Lot and, well, that's later on. Lot and his two daughters, because everybody knows the story. Lot ended up, the two daughters and Lot were saved. The wife turned into a pillar of salt. Right, the Lot and his two daughters were saved. And then they got him drunk, and they lived with him that night, and they get pregnant, and they had the nations of Ammon and Moav. Yeah. So Moav was the ancestor of Rus, who was the ancestor of David HaMelech. That means Mashiach came out of Lot and his two daughters. Now, if Lot would have been killed, okay, God has his way, but where would Mashiach come from? So Hashem saved Lot not only because in the merit of Avraham, but really Lot himself wasn't so great. Avraham Avinu thought, let's maybe... Now, he said, why didn't he ask for the 10? So the commentators say like this. Lot had his wife, and it was soon made, he had 4 daughters-in-law and 4 sons-in-law. 4 daughters and 4 sons-in-law. That's 8. Lot and Mrs. Lot is 10. Yeah? Hashem said, if I find...
Men and women? They count in both?
Yeah, God is very tolerant. He likes women also.
Oh.
Every so often. Not that often, but once in a while, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Why did...
Hashem that there was no discrimination.
That Hashem does not discriminate. Hashem loves you too, by the way. Now, why didn't he ask for less than 10? Why didn't he ask for less than 10? Because by the flood, there was Noach and Mrs. Noach, 3 sons and their wives. So it's 8 people in the Teva, right? Now, if you count Hashem, it's 9. And Hashem still didn't save the world. So under 10, he said, there's nothing what to ask. But the commentators explain, Avraham was arguing, maybe Lot, his 4 daughters, and, maybe, but wouldn't happen. But like the commentators explain, Avraham made a mistake thinking that Lot was righteous when he wasn't. Now, Avraham looked at everybody with a good eye, so he really maintained that Lot was good, and that wasn't so. Yeah, no, daughters and sons-in-law. Lot didn't have any sons. No. Okay, so Vayelech Hashem went, Kasher Kila L'daber al Avram, when he finished speaking to Avram. Meaning, as the expression goes, once the advocate left, the judge left too. Hashem was judging Sodom. Avram was the lawyer for them. The lawyer kept quiet, so Hashem said, okay, the judge said, okay, let me go do what I have to do. Now, as long as, and by the way, it's what's interesting, Hashem was playing along with Avram. Hashem could have said to him, listen, there's no tzaddikim in the city, stop it. When Avram went down to 40, 45, 40, 30, 20, 10, Hashem kept saying, okay, if there are, I won't destroy it. So actually Hashem is looking for somebody to try to find the merit. And Avram tried and he wasn't successful, that's it. So Hashem left and Hashem said, okay, not only that, the Mepharshim explained, Hashem did not want Avraham Avinu to continue, and therefore divine inspiration left Avraham Avinu and Hashem left. Avram Shavlim Kaimei, and Avram went back to his place. Where was his place? Chevron. Even though the bris was in Elon Mamre, right? But he went back to Chevron. Okay. Also, the Rabbeinu Bachaya or Bachya, whichever way you pronounce it, says, what does it mean Avram went to his place? He went limkaimei. I mean, if the pasuk didn't say it, what would I think? That he stayed there? He went up home. He went back to where he is. The Rabbeinu B'chaya said no. What it means over here, not his place where he lived. It means this characteristic trait of hospitality. He went back to do the hospitality in his tent, which was open on all four sides, and people were able to come to whatever.
We also knew that he wasn't. We also knew he wasn't as defensive.
I'm going to take your thing a step further. 84. The Mefarshim take it a step further than what you said. The commentators say Avraham went back. He wasn't depressed. He wasn't upset. He said, as a firm believer, Avraham Avinu said, if this is what Hashem wants to do, it's just. It's correct. So he said, I'm not going to keep arguing. This is what Hashem wants. I tried my best. It's not happening. So then whatever Hashem does is good. Which means, by the way, an interesting lesson. When Hashem does, God forbid, bad, we have to do everything possible to change it. Daven, tzedakah, argue, whatever it may be. But once we see push comes to shove that it's happening, then we need to accept it with full faith that whatever Hashem does is good. Okay. Now starts this story with Sodom and the Malachim light and the whole interesting story. The two angels came to Sodom in the evening. Now, by Avraham Avinu they were called people, right? They were called Anoshim. By Malach they're called two angels. By the way, what happened to the third guy? We learned that the third angel can only do one thing at a time. So the angel that was there sent to tell Sarah she's going to have a baby accomplished his mission, and therefore he left. Okay? So now they were left with two malachim. Now, by Avraham Avinu, by him they were like regular people. So Mefarshim Rashi says, because by Avraham Avinu he had angels there so often, by him it was like regular people. By light, there were two angels. Now the commentators explain another thing. Why did they come Ba'erev in the evening? Why is the pasuk emphasizing they came in the evening? First of all, angels, they're there in a second. I mean, there's no, they didn't have to do GPS and, they're there. It says, because the angels, interestingly, the angels were waiting for Avraham Avinu to find the merit. The angels saw that it didn't happen, so then it was over in the evening, and they came to Sodom in the evening. When he finished trying to be an advocate for the Jews, that was it. So he came in the evening. Okay. Light was sitting in the gate of Sodom. By Yar Light, we'll learn the pasuk. What? Vayar Light, Vayakum Lekrosam. Light saw and he ran to greet them. Vayishtachu Apayim Arza, he bowed face to the ground. Apayim Arza means face to the ground. Okay, so now the story is like this. Avraham Avinu, there were people. By Light, they're angels. Okay, now, why did he come in the evening? We said because the Malachim were waiting for that to happen. Now, Yoshev is normally present tense. Lot was sitting, should be with a Vav. Yud, Vav, Shin, Beis. Over here, the Torah writes Yoshev without a Vav. So, the Mefarshim explain that day, Light was appointed as a judge. That very day that the Malachim came to Light, and therefore he was sitting in the gate of the city. And the commentators point out, we find, where did Mordechai spend his time? B'shar ha'ir. Look in the Megillah. Mordechai was in the gate of the city. The prominent people, that's either where the court was, or that's where the great people stayed. So therefore, Light was the prominent man in Sodom. They appointed him as the judge over them. So that day, he was sitting in this wasn't in a secluded place, okay? He did it, he was in the city. Now, the Farshim explained another point, that Lot normally resided in a secluded place. He didn't live in the open place. Here, he was sitting in the gate of Sodom. Now, some people say, why did Lot run to meet them? Why did he run to meet them? Because he learned from Avraham Avinu to look for guests. Now, Avraham Avinu, it says in the Pasuk, he ran, by Avraham Avinu, it doesn't say he saw them. It says, Vayeira, he ran, because it was the middle of the day. Therefore, he ran towards them. He ran towards them. Because in the middle of the day, he saw clearly what they were. Lot did this at night. So by Yaakov the Krosim, he went to greet them, and he didn't realize who they were until they actually were right next to him. Because it was at night. And another thing the Malbim says, that the Malachim tried hiding from Lot. They didn't want to bother him, they didn't want to, because it was against city ordinances, as we'll soon learn. Sodom, let's explain a little bit about Sodom. Sodom was a very wealthy community. Sodom was fertile. That's why Lot chose to move to Sodom, because it was fertile land, the Torah says. Sodom was a very prosperous city. They didn't want any outsiders coming to rule their, we have this today also, illegal immigrants, right? So Sodom didn't want any illegal immigrants. Because then they would take away the economy, they would take away, things that they had, and they didn't want anybody. So one of the ordinances of Sodom was no guests. Whoever had guests, we'll soon learn the stories, were put to death. So, Lot, the Malachim didn't want Lot to bother with them. So, nevertheless, he took the initiative. He bowed twice. Why? Because he was awed by the appearance of angels. They were Malachim, right? So he was awed by them. So he bowed out of reference, to them. Another thing the Mefarshim say, everything, because it was at night, he didn't have a problem bowing to them. Because who would see at night? Huh?
He didn't have what?
He didn't have a problem bowing to them because it was at night, nobody would watch him. Nobody would see him. But during the day, he wouldn't do it. Okay, so he says like this. Hine Vayeira, and he said, Hine no Adonai, please my master, Suruna, Beis Avraham, please, because again, he didn't live in the gate, like we said. He lived in a secluded area. But he met them at the gate of the city. So he said, please turn to the house of your servant. You'll sleep, you'll wash your feet, and you'll get up, and you'll go. Basically what happened like this, it's night, correct? It's nighttime. Lot said to them, and this is very different than what Avraham Avinu, but there's a reason for it. He said like this, please come to my house, sleep, and then wash your feet. Avraham Avinu told the Malachim the opposite. Avraham Avinu, when the angels came to him, he said, V'rachsu raglechem. He said, the first thing, wash your feet. Then you'll come under the tree and I'll feed you. Why did Lot say, sleep and then wash your feet? So there's two reasons for this. Number one, the Arabs in those days, like Rashi says, used to bow to the Afar Sheberagleim, the dust on their feet, they worshipped. Okay? You know the expression, worship the feet? He worships the person's feet. That comes from Avraham Avinu's time. The Arabs used to worship the dust on the foot, on the feet. So Avraham Avinu was very meticulous about not having idol worshiping in his house. So Avraham Avinu said to them, listen, before you come into my house, wash your feet, get rid of your Avodah Zarah, and then you can come into my house. Lot wasn't that religious. Lot didn't care about Avodah Zarah. The whole city of Sodom was Avodah Zarah, idol worship. So he said, you know what? You'll wash your feet later. But there's a Mefarshim explained there's a deeper meaning here. Lot knew that if he gets caught, they're going to kill him. So he said like this, I want you to sleep first with your feet dirty. Then if they come to me, I'll say, you just came. I didn't give you hospitality. Their feet are still dirty. They just came. What do you want me to do? But therefore he said, but if they wash their feet first, and then in the middle of the night, they would come and see these guests, they would say, what did you do? And they would kill Lot. Because that was against the rule. So he says, take a roundabout way. That's why he says, Suduna. He didn't say just come to my house. Suduna means turn around, take a roundabout way, and come to my house. Use the back door. Linu rachsu raglechem. Okay. Now, there's a very interesting medrash. How did the people find out that the angels came to him? They took a roundabout way. They went through the back door. Right? So how all of a sudden, in a minute, everybody came? How did they know? So Pirkei Rabbi Yosef says like this. A young boy, okay, saw the guests and summoned the others. Or another interpretation is, Mrs. Light was very unhospitable. That's why she turned into salt, because she said, Light, why are you giving these people salt? That's why she turned, because she was less a diamond person. Okay? So then, she didn't let, listen to this, she didn't let these malachim come to her part of the house. She said to her, you want to do it, you do it, I'm not doing this. Okay? According to that permit. That is why Lot implied describing them as guests who have come under the shadow of my rafters. Soon, when Lot was defending himself, he said they came to my house. He didn't say our house. Because Mrs. Lot, her name, by the way, was Iris or Idis. That was Lot's wife's name. Two opinions, Iris or Idis. That was Lot's wife's name. Didn't want them to do. Okay? So, okay, we have to learn a few more psukim to understand what's going on over here in the whole picture. Okay, so he said to them, come to my house. So they said, no, kibar chayv nolan. We're going to sleep in the street, meaning in the square. We're not going to come to your house. We don't want you to get into trouble. Right? We don't want you to get into trouble. Vayirtze ba ma'id. We're going to learn one more passage and discuss this whole thing. He urged them very much. Vayasur elav, they turned to him. Vayave al beisei, they came to his house. Vayasla mishta, he made a party for them. Umatzis offer, he baked matzahs. Vayachil, and they ate. Okay? He baked matzah. Rashi says again, why did he bake matzah? Pesach. It was Pesach, so he gave him matzah. That's why Avraham Avinu told Sarah to make the round dough, which was also matzah like with him. So basically, Avraham Avinu is telling them, Lot is telling them, he baked the matzah. Now, according to the Mefarshim say like this. Lot said, come to my house. They refused. He bugged them. Well, what did they say first? We'll sleep in the street, meaning we don't want you to get into trouble. Nevertheless, Lot urged them, and then they agreed. They came to his house. By Avraham Avinu, when Avraham Avinu said to the angels, come, they didn't say no. And Avraham had to urge them. Why by Avraham did they agree right away? And by Lot, they didn't agree right away. From here, the Gemara learns out a halacha Ein misarvin legodol. You're not allowed to refuse a great person. Avraham Avinu was great. What?
You're not allowed
To refuse a great person. Avraham Avinu was a great man. He said, come, they came right away. Lot was not a great man, so they said no. He urged them, they agreed to do it. But they didn't want to accept right away. There's a very interesting thing. I need to get those other Chumash. The Rebbe asks a very interesting question here. Nowhere does it say, you know, there's 3 sins you got to give up your life for: idolatry, adultery, and murder. Yeah. Why did Lot give up his life for hospitality? There's no such din. Lot knew he was going to get into trouble. Because according to the ordinance of Sodom, we said, if your host gets, you're dead. Right? So now the question is, why did Lot do it? Why did Lot have such self-sacrifice for this thing? Okay, so he said like this. Avraham Avinu learned from Avraham Avinu that you need to have self-sacrifice for guests. Not obligated. You're not obligated. So the Gemara says like this, the Medrash says, Lot, as wicked as he was, learned certain traits from Avraham Avinu. One of them was hospitality, even when it was dangerous. Like we see the 3rd day of Avram's bris, he was sick to the extent that Hashem had to come to visit him. Right? He was an invalid. And yet, he had guests. Was he obligated in that situation of health to have guests? 100% not. He wouldn't be obligated. Nevertheless, he did it, and therefore Lot learned from Avraham Avinu, even though he wasn't obligated to do it, but nevertheless, he did it with Mesiras Nefesh, to his advantage and his greatness, by the way. Okay. Now like this, he baked matzah. What?
If Lot didn't invite him to his house.
Who?
If Lot did not invite him to his house.
He did.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
And he said, well, in here, how are we going to receive him afterwards?
How what?
How are we going to receive him afterwards?
He didn't know they're coming to destroy Sodom. He didn't know that the Hashem's going to destroy Sodom. So that's what he thought. That's it. Ramban says an interesting thing, that why, and he says the Malachim refused. They knew Lot was gonna bug them. You know, they wanted to give another merit for Lot, that he should be saved. The Malachim were told to save Lot in the merit of Avraham, but the angels tried to get as many merits for Lot as possible. So they refused that he should urge them to come, which is another merit on his part, that he's doing the mitzvah of hospitality, even with Mesiras Nefesh. And his urging was sincere. Now, what does it mean? Vayasla Mishta. Mepharshim again point out, Mishta normally is drinking wine. Yeah? Lot liked wine. That's why he got drunk in the cave with his 2 daughters, because he liked wine. So he baked matzah because it was Pesach. Another, by the way, the Mepharshim say another interesting thing. Matzah means matzah. Okay? Matzah also means fighting. Matzah umariva. You have a pasuk in Chumash. Matzah Meriva means fighting and arguing. The Mepharshim say, like we mentioned before, Mrs. Light didn't want to have guests. So when they baked matzah, they were fighting Light and his wife. Light's wife said, get rid of these guests. And Light said, no. And therefore it says, matzah is afa, and Vayash, everything was him, singular. By Avraham Avinu, he told Sarah to go make things. Because she was into hospitality, and he wanted her to have the mitzvah. Why didn't Light ask his wife to do things? Because she was against it. She was screaming at him, why are you bringing these guests home? Okay. Again, Vayochelu doesn't mean they ate because they're angels. It means they ate. They looked like they were eating. But look at the difference. Look at the difference between Avraham Avinu and Light. Avraham Avinu made him 3 tongues, mustard. He gave him a whole full meal. What did Light give him? A piece of bread, a piece of matzah. Doesn't say he gave him any other food. The matzah's off of Vayochelu. They ate matzah, that's it. That's all he gave them. Even his hospitality wasn't up to par, so to speak. Okay, Tadim Yishkavu, even before they had a chance to do anything. Oh, I left out, I was in the middle of saying the thing before. The Medrash says like this. How did everybody find out that Light had guests? Okay, so one opinion the Medrash says, a little kid saw him, he was bringing home the guests, and everybody, he snitched. He snitched. Another opinion says like this. Light brought home the guests. Okay. She didn't like the idea. Light said, okay. Light required a little salt given to his guests. What is that? Whoa.
It's really not cold.
By the way, he's one for tomorrow morning and the other day, not these, not now. Anyway, so another interpretation happened like this. Light says to his wife, bring them, they need salt. You know, have to dip the matzah into salt, I guess. So Light's wife said, it's bad enough you brought them to the house to sleep, you want to feed them? So what happened is, she went to the neighbor to borrow some salt. This wicked woman. She went to a neighbor to borrow salt. When asked why she could have not prepared salt during the day, she replied, we had enough salt, but we have some guests, and we need more salt. So that's how everybody found out that they had guests. That's why the Medrash says later, why did she turn into a pillar of salt? Because she argued with him about giving salt to the guests. So anyway, so whatever it is, in a second, there's no text, email, nothing. Yeah, no Instagram, no Facebook. Right away, what happened is the whole city knew. Okay? Tadim Yishkavu, even before they went to sleep. Anshi is the name of Saval Abayis. All the men from the Sodom surrounded the house. Minar v'adzokim, from young to old. Kol ha'am mikotze, all the people from every part of the city. Which Rashi explains, you see from here, there wasn't one righteous person in the city. Not one. Even Light's wife wasn't so righteous. I mean, she was wicked. Okay. So Mepharshim explaining this. Why is the Torah emphasizing they came from, Kotzev means from all over the place. Guests in Sodom were uncommon, right? So now it's a spectacle. They have guests, and they're going to punish the guy. So they all gathered to watch the fun, to watch what's going to happen now. Okay, so Vayikru Leit, they called to Leit. Vayemru Leit, they said to him, Ayeho Anoshim Asher Boi Lecha Loila, where are the men that came to you tonight? Heitziyeh Eleinu, bring them out to us. V'neida Eisam, and we will, simply means we will know them. But Rashi quotes in the Medrash, what does it mean? V'neida Eisam, we will sodomize them. That's where, by the way, sodomize comes from the word Sodom. That's where it originated from. Because that's what they do. But that's what they did. Now, they knew, okay, so therefore they say it like this. They say, we know they came tonight. In other words, we know when they came. You can't tell us they just came this second. We know when they came. We know everything about it. So take them out, and we want to kill them or sodomize them. So you said like this. This is a Gemara. Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi said, name Rapadia. Light had been praying for mercy on behalf of Sodom the entire night. And the angels were inclined to hearken to his petition. When all the people of the city converge upon the house with this negative intent, so the Malachim said to Light, your prayers are worthless. And look how bad these people are. You know, now we understand why Avraham Avinu couldn't even find 10 righteous people in the city. Everybody, young and old, you know what it means? Not the adults came. The youngest baby to the oldest person came to deal with this issue. So, Light said, okay, Ramban said what we said before. Okay, he went out. Why did Light go out to appease them? He's hoping to calm down the people of Sodom. But Yeman, he said like this: I beg you, my brothers, don't be wicked. Don't act wickedly. So some of us should point out, even in this situation, Light called them my brothers. It shows he was together with them. Some of us say no, the opposite. He wanted to placate them. He wanted to make them feel good, so he said, okay, brothers. But again, Light was far from and he said like this, which is weird. I have 2 daughters, that were never married, known to a man. Let me bring them out to you. You could do to them whatever you want. Okay? Meaning like this. Up to now, the Torah is showing Light's hospitality. His good part. He's willing to bring out his 2 daughters that they could do whatever they want to them. That's already wicked. That's already wicked.
Who was those people?
Huh?
Who was those people?
The people of Sodom. Which people? The Malachim came, Lot went out to the people of Sodom. He said, don't kill them, don't do anything for them, but you could do any immoral act you want with my daughters. You could do to them whatever you want to do. So it says, normally, the Medrash says like this, normally a person will fight to the end for his wife and kids. And here, Lot just take and do whatever you want. Okay. But I'm begging you, don't do anything to these people. Okay? Cal came bo b'tzel karasi, because they came under the shelter of my roof, meaning I'm responsible for them. Okay? Now, so now the question is like this. Did Lot do well by offering his two daughters? So some Mepharshim say, no good, look what he did. Instead of sticking up for your own daughters, he was willing to give them up for anything. Some Mepharshim say no. Pirkei Rabbi Elazar, which is a Medrash, says that just like Moshe Rabbeinu was willing to give up his life by the golden calf, right, for the Jews, that Hashem shouldn't destroy the Jews, Lot was willing to give up his children, which normally you love more than you love yourself, for the sake of saving the guests. Or another, the Rabbeinu Hananel says like this, you know, it's like a guy says to somebody, my house is open, take whatever you want. And a guy comes and wants to steal something, you say, okay, kill me. You know the guy's not going to kill him. So Lot was hoping that the people of Sodom are not going to do anything. Why should they do anything to the daughters? They didn't do anything wrong. They didn't do anything against the law of Sodom. So why, he thought they're not going to do anything. Another interpretation is, Lot thought, and again, this is very interesting, Lot wanted to stall time, that the Malachim should run away and not get killed. So how did he stall time? He started negotiating with them. Don't do anything to these people, take my daughters, and instead he does a bunch of stall time. But he said, don't do anything to these people because they came under my, my sake. Okay? So he said to the people from his name, listen, I'm one of you guys. Do it for me. Let them go. Leave them alone just for me. Okay. Like we said before, B'tzel Kerdasi, Mepharshim say, Lot's wife didn't want them there, so Lot brought him into his part of the house. It's very interesting. In those days, the man had one tent, the woman had another tent. You find that a few times in Chumash. Avraham and Sarah seemingly had a separate tent. When Lavan, when Rachel stole the idols, and Lavan was looking for it, he said he went to the tent of Rachel, he went to the tent of Leah, he went to the tent of the other people. Every person had their own tents. So Lot had his part of the house. Mrs. Edis, whatever her name was in the other part of the house, and he said to them, look, they're coming to me. Okay. But Yemron, they said like this, Gesh Hola, stand back. In other words, the people of Sodom said, stay away from us. We're going to go in, and we're going to kill these people. He said like this, Gesh Hola, stand back. Meaning keep away from us, move back, get away from us. But Yemron, the people from Sodom said like this, this guy came to be remember, Lot came late to Sodom, right? So he said, this guy came to be a temporary stranger, and now he's going to judge us and tell us what to do? Who do you think you are, Lot? You're a new guy, you're a newcomer in the city. We have ordinances in the city. What are you going to tell us how to change the ordinances? We're not going to listen to you. You're only a stranger here. Get back. Okay, so it says like this. Vayish Shafet. Now you have to remember, what's this double expression? Vayish Shafet. Lot, remember we learned at the beginning, Lot was the judge. Right? He became the judge of Sodom on that day. So So now the people said we're going to be judging the judge. The judge, you're our judge, we're going to be judging you. It's similar at the beginning of the book of Shaftim, after the book of Yeshua, the book of Shaftim. It says, Vayihi b'mei shveita Shaftim. Simply it means it was the days when the judges judged. The judges judged. The Medrash says, Vayihi b'mei shveita Shaftim means it was so corrupt, Israel at that time, the people were judging the judges. Shveit HaShaftim simply means the judges were judging. The Medrash says the people were so corrupt, when the judge said something, the people said to the judge, you're more corrupt than us, who are you to tell us what to do? So they were judging the judges.
Same thing in Ruth, isn't it?
Huh?
Same thing in the beginning of Ruth?
Beginning of Ruth also. It was also a bad time in the Jewish history. And therefore he says like this, because this is what you're doing, not alachamehem, we were going to treat you worse, they told Light, than we were going to treat your guests. Because you're to blame here more than anybody else. You're the one that took him in, you gave him food, you gave him a place to sleep, so you're worse than them. But by the way, they didn't say what they were going to do yet. It just says, you're worse than them. Obviously, the meaning is, therefore, we're going to punish you. But they didn't say what the punishment was. They vigorously tried to persuade Lot to stand out of the way, that they go in and take care of the malachim. And he said like this, and they came to break the door down. Like run out the turn since he closed the door, right? And they wanted to break down the door. Now, so it's an interesting medrash. Seichel Tov over here. It's an interesting thing. Ish is a sign of prominence. Rashi says many, Ish Yehudi Haya B'Shushan Abira. Rashi says, Boyaz Ish. By Boyaz it says Ish. So it says it's a sign of prominence. The Medrash says, the more Light argued with the people from Sodom, the more they respected him. He became more prominent in their own eyes. Which is remarkable, by the way. Which is a very interesting lesson. When you fight evil, and evil is, fighting you, the more you fight evil, the more you're respected by evil. Giving into evil gets you less respect than fighting evil. By the evil, I'm saying. Evil does not respect somebody that gives into evil. Evil itself respects somebody that fights evil. In life, by the way, it's a very important lesson. When you're standing up for truth, okay, the more you stand up for truth, the more people will respect you. And when you don't stand up for truth and you compromise, then you lose respect. Respect, by definition, is gotten when you stick up for what you think is right. And then even the evil will respect you. What?
Does that work with another reason I was thinking in the morning?
A little louder, please.
How does that work with another thing that I think I remember learning, that a person, if they, I don't know if the word is fight, but they then get dirty, right? So stay away because you're just going to get dirty. Like, I'm saying.
Yeah, the Mishnah says in Pirkei, it's a mesavikim menuvel misnavel. If you fight dirt, you get dirty.
Okay.
Here we're not talking about fighting. We're talking about standing up for what's right. There's a difference between fighting somebody or standing up for what's right. Standing up for what's right, by the way, does not fight evil. Standing up for what's right is you standing in a position of strength that you're not fighting evil. You don't bend to degrade yourself by fighting with evil. You ever hear people say in the comment, I will not lower myself to answer that question. I will not degrade myself to answer that question. Hamisavik and menuva misnavel means if you fight dirt, you get dirt. To go off a little bit, as we usually do, you have sur merah and asay tov. Turn away from evil and do good. Both are Torah ways. It's a pasuk in Tehillim, right? David HaMelech says, sur merah v'asay tov, bakashom, seek peace and run after it, right? Sur merah means turning away from evil. Asay tov means just doing good and the bad falls away automatically. In medicine, we have a few minutes, not enough though. In medicine, there's two approaches to medicine. God forbid if somebody has a cancer, an illness, or whatever it may be. One way of dealing with it is to deal directly with the illness. Another way of dealing with it is strengthening the rest of the body, and then the illness will eventually go away by itself. Okay? Even in therapy, not a therapist, but Torah, you have the best therapy. In therapy, when a couple comes with the issue, like marital issues, right? The problem shalom bias. Yeah? When people come with problems, there's two ways of dealing with it. One way of dealing with it is deal with the problem. Okay? Another way of dealing with the problem is accentuate the positive aspects of the relationship, and the evil will go away by itself. What's the difference? When you deal with dirt, you bring up dirt. Okay? A better way of doing it is just deal positive, and by dealing positives is automatically no negativity. I said this many times, people don't like when I say it, but tough luck. There are certain times people, schools, this is popular in schools. Okay, from 8 to 9, no Lashon Hara. You ever hear that? No Lashon Hara from 8 to 9. That's it. And they're all excited about it. From a Hasidic point of view, that's ridiculous. Because what are you harping on? Lashon Hara negativity. It means like this. 7:59, I better grab a chaparah and all the Lashon Hara I could speak. 9:01, time's up, again Lashon Hara. What you're dealing basically, no Lashon Hara, no evil. They should do something else. It's the same thing which is different. From 8 to 9, we're going to learn. Okay? If 8 to 9 you're going to learn, then automatically you're not speaking Lashon Hara. Correct? I'll give it another example, which it's not done today. Because if you put the kid's name on the board for misbehaving, you're going to get sued. Okay, but years ago, if a kid misbehaved, they put his name on the board. Remember that? Growing up, everybody remembers. Not the younger kids, they don't know this.
I remember that.
Okay, you misbehaved, the kid's name went on the board. That is, in education, ridiculous. Why? Every kid wants attention. Good attention, negative attention. I want attention. You're going to put my name on the board, everybody's going to see me. Everybody's going to see my name. I'm going to get attention. What should be done? When a kid behaves, put his name on the board. It's the same thing. But are you looking at positive or negative? Sur Meirah. It's a part of Torah, by the way. is a way of dealing with the negativity. Get rid of your bad midas, work on anger, work on haughtiness, work on selfishness, meanwhile, what are you harping on? All the bad traits. Asay Tov means do good. When you do good, automatically the evil won't exist. And that's the difference between, okay.